What a week of news. Tuesday was apparently trade day for the two teams that played Monday night, the Jets and the Bills. But let's start with the dramatic team, okay? The Jets. Last week, they fired their head coach. This week, they traded for Aaron Rodgers' guy. Davante Adams is now a Jet. And the day after the Jets lost to the Bills, this was also their first game after firing their head coach, Robert Saleh, who was not the problem. The crazy part
he was a
to
problem.
me.
He was a problem. Not the problem, but there were a lot of problems.
Okay. The crazy part to me, though, like with all of this, Davante was already at Aaron Rodgers' place before the news was breaking. We saw him in the background of Aaron's interview on the Pat McAfee show, like as the news was breaking. So like he was in New York. He
was on a red eye, like immediately following that game.
The moment.
Yes.
The moment that he could be there. I mean, and then you saw Davante Adams on Kay Adams, Up and Adams, and Rodgers like kind of popped in on his interview with Kevin Durant. I think we all kind of knew this is where, I did at least, where he was going to end up. It's where he wanted to be. He said he wanted to play with a quarterback he's already played with. Derek Carr, obviously not playing at the moment. And as we've seen, Aaron Rodgers has the pull.
Aaron Rodgers gets what Aaron Rodgers wants.
It's insane. That same night, Aaron Rodgers called out Mike Williams for running the wrong route on that final interception on the Monday Night Football game. And now he's on trade block.
It's so funny because
Savage.
I joked that Mike Williams was never going to catch never going to be targeted by Aaron Rodgers again on Twitter right when the drop happened.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh no, it's actually he's never going to be targeted by Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Also, not a very classy move in my opinion to call teammates out publicly like that. Have a convo personally with the guy. Like this is also his livelihood in his career.
Also, Mike Williams is a vet. He's been around the block. He's had a lot of success in this league. You don't do that. Get to say that.
You just don't do that. But also now we know there is no way that Aaron Rodgers did not have a say in the Robert Saleh situation. Everything is lining up perfectly for what Aaron Rodgers
The only
wants.
thing that hasn't gone Aaron Rodgers' way is that Nathaniel Hackett no longer calls plays. Because that's his dude. That is one of his best friends.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing where I was like, okay, so you didn't get one thing that you wanted, but I guess even if you're Aaron Rodgers, you have to concede on some things.
But maybe it's okay, give it a moment. Is it forever or is it just for the time? Yeah, it's just for
it's at the discretion of Jeff Ulbrich, who's the interim head coach.
Yes.
So he gets to decide whether or not, and I can't imagine you would switch back and forth between play callers because you need to give now time. You need time at this point to not to install the new system, to get those new things going. Like I said though, I think when we talked about this last time, Matt LaFleur, when Aaron Rodgers was still in Green Bay, Matt LaFleur copped to the fact that Aaron Rodgers changes 30% of the plays.
Yeah.
If you're copping to that means it's way more.
Way more.
It's way more.
That's just what people know.
This is Aaron Rodgers' offense.
To say.
Make no mistake.
This is his team.
Yeah.
As we're seeing. No, he is literally... The Jets handed him the keys and they're like, okay, our future is in your hands. But the real question is now, can Davante Adams save the Jets? Does he make a big enough difference? Yes, he's a great wide receiver. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be happier now because he has his guy that he trusts and hopefully doesn't throw him under the bus. I can't imagine him throwing over the bus the same way he just did with Williams. No, it's a lot. It's insane.
Rodgers rides for his guys.
Yeah.
And Davante Adams is also staying with Aaron Rodgers while he gets a place in New York.
This is very Tom Brady and who was
Antonio Brown?
Yeah, who he was housing
it's still not the same as that though. That was a we're going to try to make sure that you're on the straight and narrow.
Yeah.
With AB, you don't need to worry about that with Davante Adams. He's a professional. It's more of they're just best friends.
Yeah.
That's the relationship they have. But again, Aaron Rodgers keeps adding pressure to himself.
Yeah.
And if this doesn't go right, this is entirely on Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I tend to think that, I get it. You now got a guy you trust. And if you look at, even this last game, though Garrett Wilson finally got double-digit targets from Aaron Rodgers, Allen Lazard still led the team in receiving yards. And it was largely due to that Hail Mary that he ended up catching. Aaron Rodgers is just stupid good at that.
Yeah.
I think that was the fourth in his career. But Aaron Rodgers gravitates towards who he's comfortable with, regardless of the talent that he has on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like Garrett Wilson is one of the best young receivers in the league right now.
Yeah.
You should be targeting him all of the time.
Yes.
We've finally seen that happen, but now I'm worried that Davante Adams comes and that's who Aaron Rodgers falls back on. I guess I really should be worried for Allen Lazard because I don't think Allen Lazard is on a team if it's not for Aaron Rodgers at this point.
Definitely
so
not.
He's probably going to get his targets pulled back. I just hope that there is a good mix between Garrett Wilson and Davante Adams because I do think that is going to stress defenses a lot.
Yeah. Well, now he's options like that he trusts.
Yeah, and
I think that's the biggest difference.
That's the crazy part when you talk about Aaron Rodgers, I think, as one of the great quarterbacks of our generation. There's so much more than on the field. So much more than on the field goes into that. Because if you talk about, if you're going to put Aaron Rodgers in the same conversation as Tom Brady was a wonderful teammate. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, and he came in, yes, he brought Gronk. Yes, he ended up bringing AB. And there was some other pieces that, he kind of recruited as far as free agents go. But it's not as if he was forcing the ball to Gronk every other second when he first got there.
No,
Gronk was primarily a blocking tight end. He even joked about it when he got to Tampa. He really took Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cam Brate, some of these other tight ends under his wing, made sure that they understood how he liked to do things. I watched Tom Brady at practice while the defense was on the field.
Yeah.
When the ones on the offense were, getting their rest or whatever, he would take his entire offensive core plus his line, and he would take them off to the side, and they would walk through certain routes. They would walk through certain things so that they knew the timing, they knew the steps that they needed to get to, they needed to know where they got on the field. That's why he utilized every practice field at the Bucs facility, even if the ones weren't on the field actually going through their practice their
So are you saying
drills.
that you see Aaron Rodgers as one of these guys that's putting in that work?
No,
outside?
I'm saying
so
that
opposite. He is not that guy.
I'm saying that if we put him in the same conversation as Tom Brady, then he needs to be doing those things, and we don't see that.
No, he's calling him out instead and throwing him under the bus.
He's calling out his receivers, and then he's telling the Jets brass, hey, I want Davante Adams, get him over here for me.
Yeah.
Or again, I want Allen Lazard. He's the reason that he's there. Oh, I want Nathaniel Hackett. Make sure he's my offensive coordinator. He is he's bringing in all of these guys rather than trying to elevate the plenty of talent that the Jets already had.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's going to be interesting. Also kind of funny that Davante Adams has been out with a hamstring injury, missed 3 games, around the time he requested a trade, and now he's good to go on Sunday against the Steelers.
I tweeted that gif of the women's soccer player. The women's soccer player who scores the goal, and she's faking a hamstring, or she's limping with a hamstring, and then all of a sudden she just starts dancing.
Yeah, no,
and I'm like,
legit,
that's Davante Adams when he gets to take his physical.
It's insane.
In New York.
Okay. Hilarious. But cool for the Jets, but I
don't know that this is going to significantly up their chances to end up being a Super Bowl contender.
No.
I really don't.
No, absolutely not. Especially since the Bills also got better. That same day, a little after the Davante news, the Bills made headlines. Amari Cooper to the Bills. Again, after the Monday Night Football win over the Jets. This is the weapon that Josh Allen needs. A true number 1 wide receiver who knows how to win. Bills are first in the AFC East, but I think it just solidifies them as the favorite now in the division. And Amari Cooper is a winner. He is now with a top-tier quarterback, major upgrade from Mr. Badman that he was with on the Browns. Cooper was not having a good season. He doesn't have over 100 yards in any individual game this season so far. 6 games in, he has 250 receiving yards and only 2 touchdowns, which is very out of character. So I think this move will be great for both Amari Cooper and Josh Allen. And Cooper's got to be jumping with joy now that he's going to be catching balls from Josh Allen.
This is a move for already. I know it's only we're going to week 7.
Yeah.
This is a move for the postseason.
Yes. No, they're this is incredible.
This is all right. We're going to get him in now. Because at this point, Josh Allen, he's tied for 5th in touchdowns.
No, he's doing great.
He has elevated. Talk about quarterbacks that elevate the team around them.
Also putting the team on your back.
Josh Allen has done that, and
Yeah.
he has found ways to still be productive. Even though, the passing wise, I think he is like 20th in passing yards, but he is still making sure that this team is scoring. He is making sure this team is winning as much as one person possibly can.
Yeah.
And so where this really comes into play, though, is then when you get to the elite of the elite, when you get to the postseason, how the margin for error gets that much smaller. So you need more weapons. This is what I've said about the Dallas Cowboys forever.
Yeah. Who will not be making any moves by the trade deadline.
Christ.
What are you doing? Fail.
This is legitimately to get Amari comfortable into their scheme.
Yeah.
I don't none. The Bills do not care about Josh's passing yards or anything. If they're still winning, if they're still scoring, that's all that matters. And they've got a really great run game. Even though James Cook wasn't even in the game this last game against the Jets, Ray Davis steps in beautifully. This is a team that is fully capable of having a very balanced offense. So now it's when you get into the playoffs, how do you elevate yourself above the competition that is already so high?
Amari Cooper.
It is Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
It is a guy that is a veteran, and I'm happy for him in general because I think that he Dallas, first of all, should have never gotten rid of him.
That was the biggest mistake.
And then for him to be stuck in the purgatory that is Cleveland.
With Mr. Badman.
I felt very badly for him, and I'm so glad to see him moved. There are some other guys that I would like to see moved that I don't know if it's going to happen, but at this point, it's nice to get out, to go to a contender, and now you know that Amari Cooper is going to be juiced about that. You know that Josh Allen is going to... I mean, I think it's still going to be a process because they haven't played together before, but you're going to see him start to trust him more and more, and then you have all of these other, again, balanced weapons to... have this offense that's going to be really, really, really hard to beat.
And I think it's a
down the
good
stretch.
kind of ease yourself in game. Who they got the Titans, I think, this weekend. No.
This weekend?
Yeah, they got the Titans.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be fun, I think, for both of them. Two veteran, top tier at their positions. Again, I think the Bills are an AFC East favorite. Now, are they top in the AFC? The AFC has the best quarterbacks in the league, all in the same conference. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, CJ Stroud, obviously.
It's been
Josh
the story
Allen.
of the AFC
It's
in the last
just
couple
what
of
it
years.
is. So I don't think that moves them over anyone else because it's all going to come down to, can anybody get over Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs? That's just what it is right
there's
now.
Lamar Jackson and the Ravens at this point. There are there's a lot more.
CJ Stroud and the Texans also doing great.
I think the level of play is, and this has kind of been the case the last couple of years. The level of talent in the AFC has been more.
Oh yeah.
But the competition is more wide open in the NFC, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So whereas the AFC talent just kind of all has to play, they have to play each other a lot of the time. So especially when you're talking about the Bills in particular and you look at the AFC East, all right, Patriots,
yeah,
Dolphins,
now
although
Tua's gone.
might be coming back.
Yeah.
They're targeting week 8 now for him to come back.
But did he get fully cleared?
He's practicing. I know.
Ooh,
it's his decision.
Oh my God,
we can think what we want about it. We can think what we can.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to watch his first game back. I don't know.
It's his decision. If he
Okay.
wants to risk and take these risks, that is
Life?
his prerogative.
His life?
Yes, that is
Okay.
his prerogative. But
Right.
you still don't take Miami serious really as a contender in the
No.
AFC. So it's between the Jets and the Bills, and the
Yeah.
vibes are still bad in New York. So all right, the Bills are going to come out of that, but then
Yes.
they're going to run into the Ravens. You
Yeah.
got the Texans. You've got all of the other division winners that, especially in the
Mahomes.
playoffs.
Yeah.
And then you have to get past the Chiefs in the
Yeah.
playoffs.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what happens in the regular season
No.
with the Chiefs. I am
They're gonna
never
get there.
going to
Bet
be
against them.
worried about them.
No.
But
We
it
can't.
makes it a lot harder. Although I do really think that with the way Josh Allen is playing right now, getting a veteran presence in Amari Cooper, and the fact that this defense has been able to make up for so many absences on that side of the ball, they are a very resilient team, and that also bodes well
Oh yeah.
for long-term and postseason success.
Oh yeah. No, it's gonna be a fun battle in the AFC, but I definitely think the Bills won the whole trade Tuesday.